your fear whispers to me.
Yo, what's going on here, Clash Call? Welcome back to a brand new video. Yes, episode number 2 of the Voiders Season 5 of Due Diligence. Yes, we're jumping straight into a hero you will not expect what my final opinion will be on him, because as of right now, he's been looked at as probably one of the worst God/Voiders in the game. However, that just might change, so watch the whole video, okay? Without any further ado, let's deep dive into the good old Void Terror.
Listen, your fear whispers to me.
I don't even know what he says because I never used them before. Void Terror, Faceless man. He also is a mage in the Voider faction. Okay, first things first, his first core skill we have is Energy Pillar. Faceless man deals 200% of attackers damage to 4 random enemies and inflicts 2 stacks of Faceless Mark. When an enemy reaches 3 stacks of Faceless Mark, their shields will be dispelled. Stacks up to 6 times. Yes, I'm just going to stop you right there. Y'all already know, I've told y'all many times in the last few months that the future of Hero Clash is debuff and shields. Yes, then after that, it's going to turn to more of a debuff resistance / shield resistance type deal. And one of those resistance is, well, disabling shields. So yes, this guy is going to go from being one of the worst heroes in the game to probably not being the best, but he's going to be a very, very good support S+ hero. However, watch the whole video, okay? Level 2, increased damage 250% of attack, and level 3, increased damage to 300% of attack. Yes. Moving on to the next core skill we have is Otherworld Mark. Otherworld Mark. Inflict mark stacks X 30% of attack as bonus damage to the target. Cake. Level 2, increased bonus damage to 40%. And then level 3, if the target has 6 mark stacks, deal mark stacks. Jeez Louise. Deal mark stacks X 70% of attack as bonus damage at the end of the turn. Then remove all mark stacks from the target. Okay, so from simple math, if his attack is 1 million attack at 70%, X6 is going to be about 4.2 million damage. Now, just to break down the math really quick, so 70% of 1 million is 700,000 attack. Okay, then you take that 700,000 attack and multiply it by 6 because there's 6 good old mark stacks. Okay, so obviously 6 times 7 is 42, so it'd be 4.2 million damage. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. And moving on to basic, we have his Occult Light. Faceless man's basic attack deals 100% of attack as damage to 2 random enemies and inflicts 1 stack of Faceless Mark. Remember, you get 1 stack of Faceless Mark with a basic attack. Ooh, baby. Moving on to level 2, increase the number of targets to 3 and damage to 150% of attack. Level 3, increase damage to 200% of attack. Okay, moving on to his final, we have his Occult Form. Skill damage plus 10%, HP 10%. Skill damage, HP plus... Y'all see it. Level 3, most importantly, skill damage 20% and HP 30%. Otherworld Shadows. Level 1, recover 20% energy when Faceless man casts skills. Level 10, basic attack inflicts an additional stack of mark upon the target. Ooh, well, hello there. So now at level 10, we're gaining 2 stacks for the basic attacks. Yo, man, that's going to be awesome. Level 20, recover 30% energy when Faceless man casts skills. And level 30, at 6 stacks of explosion, all attacks of Faceless men inflict upon the target 1 extra stack of mark. Oh man, let's go. Too easy. And then level 40, gain 50% energy when Faceless man casts skills. When it comes to runes, now you have 2 perspectives, and it literally comes down to what team you are focusing on, what kind of team you are building. He will never be your primary attacker. This guy, Faceless man, is a half offense, half defense. However, it all depends on who that #1 offensive hero is. It won't be him. It could be Phoenix. It could be Sophia. It could be anyone new. So let's say you're focusing on Phoenix mixed with him and you want to get rid of some shields. I recommend going with HP Evolution to get his HP up, Cake-a-doodles. However, if you really want to be a half offense, half defense, then I highly recommend Samurai. Yes, The reason why is because it says, assuming he has his gear skill past level, 10, 20, 30, your basic attack doesn't do one faceless mark, it does 2 marks. And if you do samurai and you get 2 basic attacks off, just saying, that is 4. Heck, you might be able to do, on round 2, you probably have that huge explosion. So if you have that half offense, half defense, whew, man, straight big time money. However, if you're going more of a, I need to go to round 5, round 7, round 9 type team, then I highly recommend making him 100% defense, which would be Banshee and Evolution. However, if you have that split, then I would recommend Samurai Evolution or Samurai and Judgment. I know that's more offensive. However, if you have that offensive perspective, which would be Samurai and Judgment, then your armor needs to reflect that, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Okay. Now, from a pay-to-play point of view, you could choose anything that would make sense. You can go with Guardian, get the damage reduction. If you have a high attack, there's so much you could choose from. It's literally comes down to an individual basis, depending on who your team is. That's why I can't recommend too much for him, because he's one of those versatile heroes that he's literally determined by what your team is. Okay. Not like the Phoenix where you're like, oh, okay, I need to make her offensive attack. That's Captain Obvious type stuff, So when it comes to armor, yes. If you're focusing the runes on a half offense, half defense, then I highly recommend doing the same thing, half offense, half defense. Number 1 is going to be attack, and number 2 is going to be either HP or damage reduction. However, if the Faceless Man is on a defensive team who already, like Selena, Fagin, and you have damage reduction above 50%, then I wouldn't go with damage reduction attributes at all on him, because you're automatically going to get that with the team he's on. However, if he's not on a good team that has good damage reduction, then I highly recommend getting damage reduction on his attributes. Okay, so what I would say is I would go with half offense, half defense, with the emphasis on attack and HP. Okay. Now moving on to good old artifacts, we have the Esper amulets. Oh man, jeez Louise. Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with I'd go with Sun Amulet. That's a half offense, half defensive type artifact. I think that's beautiful. Sun Amulet is where it's at. Now, if you want to do a more offensive, honestly, I think Shiny Amulet will be kind of clutch too, because you're already going high rounds. You're going to want to push round 4, round 5, round 6, and it's just slowly increasing. And as he's dropping these marks on the enemy, then, well, damage is going to go up. However, it all comes down to how many rounds you want to go. And with these new heroes coming out and all these shields and all these amplifiers, this is going to be the new norm. So get used to it. Moving on to Holy Praise. I would probably go with Eternal Cloak. You got that half offense, half defense. And yeah, you get a shield based on attack. However, if I was to build him, for my main, one of my main 3 teams, I would definitely go with a super high attack and a super high HP. I think that would be clutch alongside, extremely high defensive heroes such as Selena. Get that damage reduction, Okay. Moving on to Abyss. Oh, there's so much you could choose. I think Devil's Bone Spike would be clutch. You get the attack and HP and armor penetration. I think Devil's Bone Spike would be clutch for him. Like I said, he's one of those heroes that isn't like great, but if you pair him up correctly, he would be amazing. However, if you have an Abyss artifact, obviously there's going to go to your best heroes in your arsenal, and I think Bone Spike is right up his alley, 100%. I wouldn't recommend Claw or Fang, obviously not Fang. Eye of Destruction, no. Dragon Seal, absolutely not. Horn, absolutely not. Curse Book, absolutely not. Wings, no. Flag, no. Vambrace, absolutely not. Heart, absolutely not. Lance, oh no. Bone Sword, disgusting. And Devil Shield, that even shouldn't even be an artifact. Okay, and moving on to the good old gem system. Now, what gems would I recommend? Y'all already know, half offense, half defense. Been saying it all video. So, for the first 2 light stones, I would 100% go with attack and block, which would be Lotus Stone. Yes, I think Lotus Stone is more useful than Dove Stone. However, if he's on a team that doesn't have that much damage reduction, then I would go with Dove Stone. Yes, the goal is to get that 50 to 70% damage reduction. 100%, just saying, okay? Now moving on to the Dark Stones, you get to choose 2. I would 100% without a shadow of a doubt go with HP and Armor Penetration. Yes, I think that is clutch. Yes. You know, you got the HP and Armor Pen, because Armor Pen is going to be more... Armor Penetration is going to be greater than skill damage, because skill damage only applies to half the attacks, obviously ulti. But yeah, Armor Penetration would be clutch, right? Now you could argue Orchid Stone, because you get the HP and crit. However, if his crit is already towards 50, 60, 70, 80%, then I wouldn't choose that. But if it's below that, then I would try to, you know, get his crit up at least above 50%, so you have some type of percentage to try to hit a critical strike, a critical hit, okay? Now, when it comes to the 2 random stones, you get to choose 2 of any that doesn't reflect the ones you already chosen. Then I would choose 100% Galaxy Stone, 50-50 HP, attack, crit resistance, cake of doodles. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the talents, almost forgot the talents, 100% legendary talent. I'm going to have to go with Esper Shield, depending on what team he's on. I know I keep saying that, but I have to keep just emphasizing it because it's very, very pertinent. And we're going into the era of Hero Clash where one talent could be off, one artifact could be off, and it could mean a big L. Yes, I've tested this out already. Trust me. Yes. However, if he's already on a high defensive / shield / armor type team, then I would probably switch legend talent to an offensive attribute, which would be precision strike or shadow assault. But on average, I would definitely choose Esper Shield because you want him to go longer rounds. Now, when it comes to mythic talents, if you don't have that much damage reduction, 100% vital armor. However, if you already have that 50, 60, 70% damage reduction on him, by the time round 1 starts, then I'm 100% probably going to go with either fatal blow or weak point. The emphasis on weak points. Now, moving on to transcendent talents from an offensive perspective. From a half offense, half defense, I'm probably going to slap on good old Violent Recovery. So if he doesn't get any HP back from whatever hero, you have a chance at 2x. However, it is based off the crit, so I highly recommend getting that crit up between 50 and 100% or higher if you can, without breaking the bank, you know. So from an offensive perspective, you could do Wrathful Curse, but he's a type of hero where you really want to get his ulti off and disable those shields. That is his #1 priority. Okay. Now moving on to Eternal Talents. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna slap on 100% Rapid Circulation. No if, no ands, no buts. It doesn't matter if he's offensive, defensive. It doesn't matter if he's on the bench as a water boy. It don't matter. Put on Rapid Circulation, because let's say he gets his ulti off on, let's say, round 1 he gets a basic off, and then round 2 he gets an ulti off, and let's say this kicks in Rapid Circulation. Boom! He gets 2 ultis off. Yo, that's 6 stacks. Someone's getting hit with 6 stacks. Boom! And like I said, it only takes 3 stacks to disable the shields, and that is the main priority of Faceless Man. Now moving on to the tutorial we have is, what does the game recommend? They recommend Lava Amulet or Arcane Ring. I understand Lava Amulet on a high offensive type team, but I don't think that's the move. I really don't. He's one of those heroes where if he's left by himself, he's pretty much done. I just can't view him as just a main attacker. So I think Lava Amulet is not the move. Now, you can make the argument for Arcane Ring because you don't want him to get stunned, or he's pretty much useless. So I agree with Arcane Ring, hands down. I really do. Especially if the enemy team has a whole bunch of debuff heroes. God of Thunder, or, to get charmed by the Snake Chick, which is Cecina. There's so many debuff heroes now, so watch out for that. Now for talents, they recommend Precision Strike, 100% agree, if it's offense perspective. Weak Point, let's go. And number 3 is Excess Heal, I agree, or Violent Recovery, one of the 2. And number 4 is Soul Gaze. I 100% don't agree with Soul Gaze. I think Rep Circulation is more beneficial because, like I said, you want to disable those shields extremely fast. 100%. Okay. I also recommend for runes, Apocalypse. Oof. And then I understand the offensive Sin perspective. I got you. But Apocalypse, from 100% offensive point of view, yes, but I just wouldn't make him 100% offensive point of view. Now, you could let's say you had two main attackers, Phoenix and Dragonic, and then he just happened to be the third one, which I wouldn't do that. But if you did, then I could see it. But yeah, I wouldn't do that personally. Yeah.
Now, my final thoughts when it comes to Faceless, man, from a pay-to-play perspective, even at my level, when I'm 1 year and 2 months in, near the tippity top of the EA, and he's just one of those heroes that I just don't work on. I would say probably last week, I thought about maybe I should start working on him. However, there's so many other heroes that I want to work on, but, a huge but, I do recommend, getting a piece here, getting a piece there, because in, about 6 months from now, I think he'll be very, very useful, because there's going to be so many type heroes that, shields, and then artifacts, more shields, and Faceless Man is going to be extremely clutch later on in 2024. Now, unfortunately, from a free-to-play perspective, there's just too many good Voiders / gods that are in front of him that you're just going to have to skip them, and hopefully you just get lucky in the summoning hall. That's just unfortunate how it is. Mathematically speaking, I've been playing for a year and 2 months, and I've only pulled maybe 4 copies of him, and that's from a pay-to-play perspective. From a free-to-play perspective, on my main account, maybe 1 copy. And, it is what it is. That's just how it's built, and yeah.
All right, Hero Clash GX Squad. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Greatness manifested.